Thank you for clicking on this episode of Rank the Movies. Alright, well, it's time to finish up with movies. This month of movies I've never seen before. We've talked Doctor Strangelove last week. The week before we talked Bonnie and Clyde. This week, I'm going to watch a movie a lot of people say is really good. I've heard people say it's absolutely trash. So let's talk Top Gun. I've never seen Top Gun until just now. It was the first time I've ever watched Top Gun, and I don't regret my choices in life of never watching Top Gun. It's a film. It's fine. I think they overused the song Take My Breath Away during his courtship of Charlie, I think her name is, Carey Mulligan, I think is the actress, Kelly McGillis. Wow, that's way off. I'm way off. Kelly McGillis. When he's courting Kelly McGillis, it basically plays for that entire time. And it's not even the whole song. It's just literally the "Take My Breath Away" that music, and it just plays non-stop. I got real hate. I got hatey for that. Like, why? Why are we doing this? Why are we torturing your audience? I feel like the movie just didn't know what it wanted to be. I just don't know. I don't get this movie. Because he starts off, he's a brash, arrogant fighter pilot. And he ends this, sorry I coughed without covering my mouth. I'm by myself. I just don't think of it when I'm by myself. He starts off as this brash, arrogant young pilot, and he ends a brash, slightly less arrogant pilot who wants to teach people because he wants to keep banging Kelly McGillis, I guess, who's not in the sequel. I looked it up. Kelly McGillis, not in the sequel. I don't feel growth. I don't feel like anything got accomplished in this movie. And if it did, it was so pointless. I don't even know. I don't even know. Tim Robbins has a credit in this movie, but I don't think you ever see his face. I don't think there's a single scene where you see his face, and I think he just shouts. Because at some point, Maverick's rear, or Rio, I swear I keep hearing the word rear throughout this movie, but the subtitles were on, and it kept saying Rio, because Rio is an acronym where the R does actually stand for rear. He ends up, his rear dies in a plane crash, in an accident, which you think would have been like the, oh no, Maverick was somehow responsible, and now he feels bad, and that's going to affect him. Except he's not responsible. He's not responsible at all for the crash. It just happened. When you're watching the movie, he doesn't seem responsible for it. It just happens. And he still feel like, you still go through this whole process. Which I get it, you would if you were the pilot. But because the learning would have been he did something wrong, and it screwed up, and his rear died. Goose, his goose got cooked. Then it would help the growth, but he didn't do anything wrong. It just happened. It was just an accident, and there's no like needed growth. Plus, he ends up like whipping Goose's dog tags into the ocean as a sign of burial. Like he doesn't need Goose anymore, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, Tim Robbins plays his replacement rear for the last fight of this movie. There is no scene of them meeting. I'm pretty sure he's not in the movie earlier. So there's no point of them meeting. There's nothing of like Tim Robbins' character having apprehension of flying with a dude whose rear died, who his last rear had died. There's no apprehension about that. You get a weird line of dialogue from his Top Gun teacher. I gotta get into that part. Who says if they won't give you a rear, call me and I'll fly with you. Which seems like it should pay off that he ends up being Maverick's rear in the final battle, but he doesn't. So it's just kind of wasted dialogue. And the whole thing is Maverick and Goose are sent to Top Gun, which is like the flight school for the best of the best. It's supposed to make great pilots better. Um, and they're chosen from their battle cruiser to go through this class. And it's just training. It's training how to deal with Russian MiGs, which apparently Maverick. The movie opens with Maverick having a dogfight with a Russian MiG, which apparently nobody else has done. So, yeah. Yeah, and it's about, who... The whole thing is who's going to be the number one pilot, who's going to be the best, who's going to be the Top Gun of Top Gun. And it turns out to be Val Kilmer. Like, he doesn't become Top Gun. He's always trailing Iceman, so it's not even like he's in the lead, and then Goose dies, and then he starts falling back. No, he was always second place. He was straight up second place throughout this entire movie. So there wasn't stakes there. There's no stakes in the Top Gun class. Even when he might quit, he's still told, oh, well, you have enough points where you can still graduate if you want, if you just choose to. You don't have to quit. You can quit or you can graduate. So there's no stakes there. His love interest with, I already forgot her name, Kelly McGillis, there are no stakes in that relationship. They just basically, like, take your breath away for 20 damn minutes and then fall into bed. There's no stakes there. You get to the final dogfight, which they're no longer in Top Gun. Like, I expected this actual fight to happen while they were still in the Top Gun training program, and he was going to end up being Top Gun. But in the sequel, you find out Iceman still, because of who he was, became the higher-ranking officer than Maverick. But no, the dogfight is after. They're already through the Top Gun program. So I feel like this movie wanted to be a pilot action film, which is really weird. The action scenes are hard to watch, just because it's flight battle between planes. It's a dogfight. Those are hard to watch in movies. Those are hard to film, especially I think they wanted real dogfights. So Tony Scott got up there and got real into the dogfights, but it just looks weird because you got a lot of open sky and these little like dots of plane. The action scenes aren't really all that actiony. The love story's not great either, and I don't get why people love this movie. It's not. It doesn't need a sequel for one. Definitely not a sequel. Many years later, which apparently I was looking up the cast, and it's going to reference a character that was mentioned twice. A character who was mentioned twice in this movie is being brought in for the sequel, I'm guessing to play the new love interest. And then I looked up the actress's name who's playing the love interest, and realized real quick she's got to be playing older than she is, because if she's playing her own age, that gets real creepy real fast. Because they mentioned twice in the movie that Maverick made a pass at, did something to an admiral's daughter, and they say her name. Apparently, that character is going to be in the sequel, because nobody else wanted to come back to do this movie other than Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer, but I think Val Kilmer's only going to do a little bit. So they decided to bring in this character who would have been 16 at the time this movie was made. 16, meaning their relationship happened before the movie, meaning she was probably 15, and he would have been in his 20s. So that just made me feel all sorts of creepy when I started doing math. So hopefully she's playing older than she's supposed to be. Otherwise, this gets real creepy real fast. I have no interest in seeing the sequel. I don't think it's needed. I think also the fact that movie's been delayed so many times. At some point, it's just release the damn thing. Like, you're not going to make your box office money. It's going to be Morbius all over again. And I'm pretty sure this review's coming out after it releases. I think. I might be wrong. I don't know. It's definitely being shot before it's released, so I can't say how its box office performance is. I can only speculate that its box office performance is poor. I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. If I'm wrong, good for Top Gun Maverick. Good for it. I don't think I'm going to be wrong, though. Yeah. Also, the sex scene, it... Tony Scott likes tongues. He's dead, Tony Scott. Tony Scott died. Tony Scott likes tongues. Because, like, that is it. There's no, like, thrusting in this scene. There's no, other than Tom Cruise's back, there's no real exposed skin in this scene. But he's got it lit. So you could definitely see them, like, touching their tongues. It's not even, like, sexy touch. Like, no, it just seems like, just touch their tongue. Just touch your tongues. Like, it's Tony Scott sitting out of frame as Tom Cruise is laying on Kelly McGillis. I'm never going to remember that name. It's Tom Cruise laying on top of Kelly McGillis. And he's just sitting there off camera with this weird blue and black lighting scheme that's going on. Going, now touch your tongues. Yeah, like that. No, don't seal those mouths. Just touch those tongues. Yeah, lick his chin. Yeah. This is erotic. Tongues! More tongues! Alright. Also, I've watched a lot of Tom Cruise movies. His teeth look gigantic in this movie, and I don't know why. But I was fixated on his huge teeth this entire movie. And again, I couldn't tell you why. Every time the man smiled, all I saw was teeth. And like, I've watched Tom Cruise movies. I've watched many Tom Cruise movies. There's some Tom Cruise movies I really like. How have I never realized this man has giant teeth? So yeah. Top Gun, I don't recommend it. I didn't think it was that great of a movie. Can I say I watched it? Yeah, now I can at least tell people I've watched Top Gun. But no, I don't think it's that great of a movie. Again, no idea why it's getting a sequel. So yeah, so Top Gun, I'm done talking to Top Gun. Alright, so, we're done with, that's fine, that can be knocked over. We're done with movies I've never seen before. We're moving on to a new month, and next month I'm going to be talking about a bunch of different topics. I'm not going to talk about, like, individual movies. I'm going to be talking about a lot of other stuff, movie-related. It'll be an interesting week. I don't really want to start giving away what I'm doing, but I'm going to be doing some more of the big form stuff. Like when I did Nicolas Cage, good or bad. I'm going to start doing a couple of weeks of that stuff starting next week. So check it out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss any content. I am Martin Prevost. This is Rank the Movies. Have a good one.